KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
How low will we go? We're checking in on temperatures this morning as they drop into the 30s.
And a rollover on Loop 410 turned into a real-life action scene overnight. People jumped, a car flipped, and one person ended up in a creek. We're going to break down exactly what happened and how everyone got out safely.
And could the government shutdown almost be over? We're going to show you what the Senate did while you were sleeping.
All right, good morning to everyone out there. It is Monday, November 10th. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I'm RJ Marquez.
And I'm Patty Santos. Thank you for starting your morning with us. We have a lot of things going on, but first, you need to know that you're going to need a jacket.
It's a little bit chilly, yes.
You're going to need a jacket when you head out there this morning. Hey there, good morning, Justin.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Oh, we are going to start out with traffic real quick. Yes, we'll get to Justin here in just a bit, but want to let you know about this scary crash overnight on Loop 410 near Harry Wurzbach and Starcrest. The 3-vehicle accident caused one car to roll over, but then 2 people who stopped to actually try and help out jumped off the highway and ended up on a bridge to avoid some of that traffic. But a 3rd person also fell into a creek underneath that bridge. That person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and no other injuries were reported. Let's go to Alex right now for the very latest out there in that one particular spot on the northeast side of town and give you a very latest update, Alex, because earlier we had 410 that was completely shut down in one of those directions. What's the latest?
Yeah, and it recently reopened. So about 15 minutes ago, all of those lanes have reopened on 410 and Starcrest. You can move through that area with no problems now, RJ.
Okay, good news. Okay, now let's check in with Justin.
I got really excited about this weather, Justin.
Because it is chilly, yes.
It's fair. It is cold. It is cold, but it is not down to freezing. I want to be very clear about that here around Bexar County, and I don't think we're going to get down to freezing here around town. But jacket weather nonetheless. 45 degrees right now at the airport, 48 down there at Stinson. We are seeing some 30s, and in fact, Comfort just fell down to that freezing mark, 32 there. So it is certainly possible that places, some spots, at least in the hill country, will get to that mark. I just don't think that happens in Bexar County. As you head out the door this morning, though, you will want the jacket through, I'd say, about lunchtime. And then by the afternoon, we see a beautiful day. 62 degrees for a high with sunny skies. You can't beat that. And we'll see a couple nice days this week before humidity makes a return. So cold start, beautiful afternoon today. Warm up this week for sure. We'll get off to a cold start tomorrow, but then it is a steady warm up from there, and we'll eventually see temperatures back in the 80s by the end of the work week. And then the other big story here is the chance for storms. Possible this weekend. Got a pretty dynamic system that's going to work towards Texas. I'll break down what we may expect as far as the storms go and timing as well. That's coming up here in just a couple minutes.
All right, thanks, Justin. Well, new overnight, lawmakers in the U.S. Senate are taking their first real steps towards ending the now 40-day federal government shutdown. While you were sleeping, lawmakers voted 60-40 to move forward with a compromise bill that would reopen the government, but it doesn't include a guaranteed extension of health care subsidies. That's angered some lawmakers, including Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, who voted against the measure. Still, supporters say this vote could finally pave the way to getting federal workers back on the job. Final passage could be several days away if some lawmakers object and delay the process. And we're learning more about a shooting at a northeast side convenience store in which the suspects are still on the run this morning. Deputies say a man was shot in the leg yesterday after a gunfire broke out outside a shop in Candle Glen, that's near Walsham. Another person was also shot, and we're told they have non-life-threatening injuries. Witnesses told investigators several people took off right after the shots rang out, possibly 3 suspects in all. Right now, deputies are reviewing surveillance video from nearby businesses, hoping it helps them track down whoever pulled the trigger. Also on the northeast side, 2 people are recovering after a house fire tore through their home near La Ventana and El Charro. Today, investigators will try to figure out what sparked the fire. Firefighters say the pair managed to get out of the house safely. The flames caused heavy damage and came dangerously close to spreading to nearby homes, but crews got it under control pretty fast.
Coming up on 505, well, we now know the name of the man accused of shooting and killing 3 people and then himself at a Northside landscape supply company. And while the motive for the shooting is currently unknown, San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says it was not a random attack. According to SAPD, the man was identified as 21-year-old Jose Hernandez Gallo. Police said that he was an employee of the landscaping company. He's accused of shooting 3 of his co-workers. The police report says other employees ran to safety as shots were being fired. Gallo was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Closing arguments begin at 8 a.m. this morning in the trial of 3 former SAPD officers accused in killing a woman in her apartment. The defense and the prosecution rested their case last week. During the last day in court, the defense delivered a major blow to the prosecution's case. Now, she was going through a mental health crisis that night in 2023. The prosecution wanted to call Chuck Joyner to the stand. He was the state's law enforcement expert, but the defense said that the state did not disclose that Joyner is currently a Texas peace officer or that he had reviewed additional body camera video from the scene. So the judge ruled that Joyner could not testify. A similar issue came up once before in this trial. If found guilty, the 3 former SAPD officers face up to life in prison. Now, this is day 21 of the trial. You can watch it live on all of our streaming platforms.
And this morning, social media influencers in San Antonio are joining forces to fill up food pantries. The hashtag they're using is Foodies Filling Pantries. Basically, people will tag each other on Instagram or TikTok and encourage them to fill up at a shopping carts or fill up a shopping cart at their local grocery store. Then they take those items and stock up an entire food pantry.
The goal, honestly, just feeding as many people as possible is the goal, and to continue to spread the word about these community pantries and make sure that people are doing this, not just right now during the time of need, the SNAP benefit not being available and the holidays, but all the time. Whenever you have anything available.
Great to see San Antonio come together and just, try and make a difference and help each other out.
All right, so Gabrielle Gonzalez, you just heard from her, started the trend in 2024 with her food account, Siempre San Antonio. This year, she's bringing it back as families went without SNAP benefits and because of the government shutdown. And if you were able to get some shelf-stable items, you could even take them to this event that we're a part of today. RBFCU and University Health are teaming up with the San Antonio Food Bank and Meals on Wheels San Antonio. This is to help families struggling because of the government shutdown and SNAP suspension. Just grab some canned food or pet food and drop it off at the Pinstack location off of Loop 410. You can take donations as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. And then also, as a thank you, you'll get a $5 game card from Pinstack. Plus, the Texas Eats team, including our very own David Elder, will be there all day to collect donations and say hello to everyone. We're going to check in with David coming up at 6 o'clock. Okay, local businesses continue to step up and help feed our San Antonio families. Check this out. Olla Express Cafe downtown has been providing free breakfast to those hurting during the government shutdown.
We are receiving the donations little by little, so we encourage everyone to donate. Even if it's $1 or less than that, anything helps, any amount helps.
Andrea Ley told us that they've helped nearly 45,000 people receive a free breakfast.
Listen to this. Governor Greg Abbott says he plans to run for re-election. Abbott will seek his 4th term next year. The 67-year-old made his announcement at a golf course in Houston over the weekend. Now, he described Texas as the heartbeat of America and says the Texas economy is growing twice as fast as the U.S. economy. Abbott has been a staunch supporter of President Donald Trump and has supported his immigration enforcement operations. Today is an important date in military history. On November 10th, 1775, John Adams drafted a resolution that created what was then known as the Continental Marines. That day is now observed as the birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps. The U.S. Mint has unveiled a special commemorative coin to honor the rich history of the Marines. Right now, there are more than 200,000 active duty and reserve Marines serving in the United States. The U.S. Army and also the Navy, by the way, celebrated their 250th birthday this year.
All right, your San Antonio Spurs back in action tonight over the weekend. Take a look at that guy right there. We saw Darren Fox make his highly anticipated debut. His return to the hardwood. He helped the Spurs defeat the Pelicans 126-119 for their 7th win of this season. So the Spurs are 7-2, and they're back on the road visiting the 6-3 Chicago Bulls. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. at the United Center out there in the Windy City. Should be a good one, but it was pretty cold in the Midwest this weekend, Justin.
Yes, it was. Still is this morning. In fact, there's some snow up there. What do we have ahead of us? Well, we could get some storms this weekend. Pretty nice area of low pressure moves into Texas. We'll talk about what this means for our forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Justin. Time right now, 5:10. Apple may be taking its iPhones out of this world. How new satellite features could soon go far beyond emergencies. And OpenAI making a bold ask from the Trump administration.
And up next, a San Antonio nonprofit that found a GoFundMe in their name, but it wasn't theirs. The fake fundraiser that fooled donors and how they're fighting to get their money back. 5:13 on your Monday morning, a San Antonio nonprofit is calling out GoFundMe, saying that the platform created a fundraiser in their name without permission.
Yeah, San Antonio Pets Alive says donations meant for their rescue efforts never reached them. Now, as Madeline Lambert reports, more nonprofits are coming forward with the same problem.
Every dollar is vital, to take care of these animals that we're saving their lives.
Bob says he was shocked when he saw San Antonio Pets Alive on GoFundMe.
So when you see something like this and then people, donate to it and then they find out it's a scam, we didn't do it, but if I was a donor, I'd be very, curious. I'd be a little concerned as to how I would donate in the future.
Just last month, GoFundMe created more than 1 million donation pages for organizations that are registered as nonprofits in the U.S.
It was supposed to raise awareness to donors about these organizations. But again, the problem is that it has to be approved through the organization to do that. And so it's very misleading.
Bob and his team found several GoFundMe pages that said they were benefiting San Antonio Pets Alive. Those pages raised more than $1,300.
We can't access the money. What I really would like to see is the money be returned to the donors, and then they donate through our legitimate way, like I said, through our website.
We reached out to GoFundMe, and a spokesperson said the page for San Antonio Pets Alive has since been removed like the nonprofit requested. They also said all donations that were previously collected have been delivered directly to them.
Anybody wanting to make a donation, like we said earlier, just be very careful, really look at where you're donating, and honestly go to the organization's website.
San Antonio Pets Alive is telling people the only way they accept donations is through their website at sanantoniopetsalive.org.
All of the nonprofits, we rely on their donations, so let's do it right.
Madeline Lambert, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, Thanksgiving, just a few weeks away, and a lot of families are asking the question, can we afford everything for the celebration? Luckily, there's tons of deals and discounts to make sure you get your holiday bird on a budget. Walmart, for example, has a meal deal that will get you the turkey, stuffing, sides, and dessert for just $40. The store says their deal is meant to feed a family of about 10.
Okay, how about this? Amazon offering a deal that will feed 5 for $25. That includes your turkey, mashed potatoes, green beans, casserole, all of that good stuff. And for a family of 4, Target's offering a full meal for under $20. Right now on KSAT.com, you can find more details and deals, on celebrating with your family. Just go to our website and search Thanksgiving. Okay, Veterans Day is tomorrow. It's a day to honor military members who have served and continue to serve in the U.S.
Several places around San Antonio are offering discounts and freebies to honor our military. Here's just a few of them. At Texas Roadhouse tomorrow between 11 and 2, the chain is treating veterans and active military members to a free meal voucher. At Denny's from 5 a.m. to noon tomorrow, participating locations are offering a free original Grand Slam to veterans and active duty military members.
How about Dave & Buster's? Veterans and active military members can get a free entree and a $10 power card. And Great Clips, participating locations are offering some free haircuts or a free haircut card for a future visit. We have a lot more details, discounts, freebies available for you right now on our website, KSAT.com.
That's a good way to say thank you to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of folks are also going to be off tomorrow, so another way to honor our veterans out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Big thank you.
Yes. All right. Let's get to the traffic situation, because I know it's been a little bit busy. We talked about that one crash that was on the northeast side of town. So here's a quick check at 1604 at Babcock, where we're still dealing with some overnight closures right there. That's going to be some of our traffic making its way past Calcil Parkway over by the main UTSA campus. And it looks like things are starting to clear out here for our drivers along 1604. No major issues there for many of our folks. Southwest side of town, we did have a crash that was causing a little bit of tie-ups right here. 410, this is going to be southbound traffic over by Ray Ellison Boulevard, but things are starting to clear out here. Traffic moving along both directions, north and south of 1604. And again, one more quick check at the situation on the near northeast side of town. This is going to be 410 at Starcrest, and it looks like we still have a little bit of emergency activity over here, but traffic has started to open up for all of our drivers that are making their way from 410 to 35. I'll keep an eye on that situation right there, because again, we did have a rollover crash that involved a couple of vehicles overnight. So we will continue to track everything going on the roads as you step outside on this Monday morning. But again, you're definitely going to need your coat, right, Justin? Because it's feeling chilly out there. Some type of fall weather, finally.
Finally. Yes, feels great, actually. Temperatures are falling down into the 40s, but it's not down to freezing here in San Antonio, and I don't think we get there. 45 degrees right now. There is a bit of a northerly breeze at about 6 miles per hour. We've had just enough wind this morning, I think, partway to stir up the atmosphere a little bit and just keep these temperatures from really bottoming out. 42 New Braunfels, 46 Converse, 39 right now in Bernie, 48 at Stinson. And believe it or not, yes, there is a wind chill. I mean, the wind is light, but there's enough there to make it feel like 41 here in San Antonio, 38 New Braunfels. Feels like 29 right now in Fredericksburg. So yes, this is more typical of November, and will require a coat as you head to the bus stop this morning. Temperatures will start off in the upper 30s if we get there. Again, right now we're still in the mid 40s, but I think we have the potential to fall a few more degrees before it's all said and done. And then really beautiful this afternoon. Can't ask for better weather. 62 and sunny. The winds will calm down a little bit. Really, really nice. As we look at the big picture here, there's not a lot to see other than here across the northeast in the Great Lakes. We have some snow, some of it lake effect snow, but we're seeing a little bit of that around Chicago. There were some flurries yesterday around the Chicago area, Indianapolis, Cleveland this morning seeing some snow. So kind of the first big, I'd say, blast of cold air for these areas up there across the Northeast. And as we look a little closer here, yep, Columbus, Ohio this morning, Indianapolis, Chicago, Illinois, all of those places seeing a little bit of snow with some flakes flying. All right, our forecast is actually going to warm up quite a bit. Yes, it is cold, it is dry this morning, but the dew points really start to rise. Now, typically when we see this, and I'm going to point out Tuesday and Wednesday, when you see the humidity really take a big jump upwards like that, we watch out for fog and low clouds. And I think both of these days will have the potential for that. Then the humidity levels out a little bit before it takes another big jump Saturday. And Saturday is a day we're circling too, because we'll have humidity, we'll have warmth. It will be almost spring-like in the sense that we're going to get a very dynamic storm system moving into Texas. And I think all of these ingredients will combine to create some storms. So as we get into the middle part of the week, really quiet. There's not much to give us anything as far as clouds or rain, but that changes by Saturday. This low moves in, and again, I think we could see some strong storms. Now, it's a little early to talk about severe weather yet, but this is something to watch. Saturday night, and maybe even into early Sunday morning before this low moves away. So rain chances right now 30% on Saturday. That's the day that I have circled in our extended forecast here. 72 tomorrow, 80 Wednesday, 83 Thursday. So you see the big warm up there. And then by the weekend, low 80s and that chance for storms before a front comes through and it turns windy and cooler on Sunday. All right, our Just Ask Justin question. I want to say a big happy birthday to the Marines. They were founded 250 years ago on this day. So I want to know, and by the way, it's not me wanting to know this actually. Someone submitted this trivia question, Pete Montoya, and we appreciate it. This is a great one. So here's what he's asking. He wants to see if people know. In what city were the U.S. Marines founded 250 years ago? Was it Boston, New York, Philadelphia, or Charleston? Weigh in. KSAT.com/poll. Scan the QR code and let us know what you think.
All right. Good question, because I do not know that answer yet. All right.
Same here.
Time right now at 5:22, 45 degrees out there.
Okay, coming up, we're talking about Apple's next move that could keep you connected even off the grid. Plus, OpenAI wants in on a major Trump-era tax break, what it's asking and why this all matters.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple is reportedly working to expand satellite features for iPhones. Currently, you can make emergency calls and text via satellite, but Bloomberg says Apple is looking to add satellite capabilities to send photos and access directions in areas without a cellular or Wi-Fi connection. Blue Origin was forced to scrub its New Glenn rocket launch due to weather. The rocket's second flight was set to take off from Cape Canaveral yesterday. The plan is to send twin NASA spacecraft to orbit Mars. Blue Origin says it will try again no earlier than Wednesday afternoon. Finally, OpenAI is asking the government to support its data center construction plans. It's asking the Trump administration to expand a 35% tax credit, which now covers only semiconductor creation. OpenAI hopes it can also cover data centers and other AI-related components. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Sophie Flay. Have a great day.
All right, 526 right now and 45 degrees. It's chilly, Patty.
It is cold out there. A fire tears through a northwest side apartment, leaving 9 families with nothing but ashes. Up next, one daughter shares the heartbreaking memories lost in the blaze.
All right, good morning to everyone out there as we start our 5:30 half hour. It is Monday, November 10th.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Very busy, but the first thing you're going to want to do before you walk out the door, grab a jacket. I failed to do that this morning.
Me too.
Really?
And then I stepped outside and then walked back and grabbed my
Guys didn't listen to me last week.
I'm sorry, we forgot.
I'm used to it. All right, let's take a look at the temperatures that we have at this hour. 45 degrees right now in San Antonio, 43 Helotes, 46 Converse. Yes, definitely jacket weather. In some spots in the hill country are in the mid-30s. Not impossible to get down to freezing here within the next few hours, although if we do, it'll be brief. Because, we're still at 35 in Kerrville. That's one of the cold spots. A lot of places still in the 40s. We're just kind of struggling to really get those temperatures down this morning. Part of that is we still have a bit of a breeze, and the breeze tends to mix up the atmosphere a little bit, and it just doesn't allow those temperatures to fall. Regardless, it's going to be cold. Sunrise this morning, 6:54. Sunset will be at 5:41 today, so only 10 hours and 46 minutes of daylight on your Monday. Let's walk you through the day. 38 degrees. That's what we're calling for at 7 a.m., although I think it's going to be kind of hard at this point to get that cold. 55 at 11 a.m., noontime 58, and then eventually we're up to 62 for a high with clear skies. That is ideal weather. You've got another cold morning on the way tomorrow. In fact, I think tomorrow morning probably will be a little bit colder, and then a rapid warm up that could lead to some storms. We'll have another look at that 7-day forecast in just a couple minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. While the struggle and pain continue for 9 families this morning left without a home after the devastating fire on the northwest side. This was the scene that you see right there on Friday. Flames tearing through an apartment complex off of USA Boulevard near Fredericksburg and Huebner Roads. The Lopez family shared some photos with us showing their unit reduced to ashes.
Literally everything was destroyed, and there were so many memories in that house and lots of stuff that reminded me of things I love.
Even now, I guess groceries would be one of the main things that we would need to do to get. And then since my daughter, both of us lost everything, but I'm just more concerned for her at the moment. So she would need socks, clothes, undergarments.
Well, right now, those families are relying on the Red Cross and community donations as they work to rebuild their lives.
Scary moment on the northwest side after a Via bus reportedly sideswiped a bicyclist. Today, investigators will work to track down the driver and figure out exactly how this crash happened. It happened just before 10 on Saturday night at Fredericksburg and Quinton. Police say the rider fell and was taken to the hospital, but the bus did not stay at the scene. Now, Via did send us this statement. Via was notified of the matter by SAPD and is reviewing the details provided as part of our investigation into the alleged incident, end quote.
Well, this morning, a beloved Kerr County summer camp is getting a new beginning. The Heart of Hills camp, that's the longtime girls camp, is reopening under new ownership after the loss of former director James Ragsdale, who was among the 119 people killed in the Hill Country floods. New owners Elizabeth and John Hay are building a 70-acre site along the North Fork of the Guadalupe River in Hunt. That is just 7 miles away from the original location. Registration for the 2026 season is open, but the camp is not taking deposits just yet.
The legislative session is still more than a year away, but a bill is already in the works that would keep high-density developers out of rural communities. Now, this would be a big win for property owners in Comfort who are calling on Governor Greg Abbott to stop the 1,100 home housing development from moving any further, fearing that it's going to exacerbate their water crisis. Now, take a look. This is a map of the country, the Hill Country property that a developer wants to turn into hundreds of homes. It's about 5 miles north of Comfort. Neighbors have been keeping a close eye on the development of the Guajalote Ranch project in Gray Forest. Just like that development, the Comfort 590 plan needs TCEQ approval to build a wastewater treatment plant and to discharge treated wastewater into a nearby creek. Kendall County Commissioner Chad Carpenter is working with other counties, state lawmakers, and really anyone with influence to make some legislative changes aimed at TCEQ.
Not surprised. Seems like TCEQ very rarely denies a permit when someone applies for it. They seem to lean more towards the builders and developers. And that really concerns me because your local government has no real authority to stop these developments.
The area sits on the Trinity Aquifer, currently in stage 3 drought. They're worried the aquifer will not be able to sustain more households. Coming up in the next hour of GMSA, we're going to break down some of the other concerns about this development and why they say they're fight for all. This is a fight for all rural Texas communities.
5:34, let's get you to some of your morning headlines. There's new reaction this morning over the Trump administration's proposal to create 50-year mortgages. The former president, or the current president, says that it could help revive the struggling housing market. Right now, first-time buyers are on average 40 years old. While a longer mortgage could mean smaller monthly payments, critics say that it would also pile on decades of extra interest and drive prices even higher. The White House has not said how it would get around current laws that cap mortgages at 30 years. Well, 2 Major League Baseball pitchers, including Cleveland Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase, are facing some pretty serious federal charges this morning. Prosecutors say that Clase and his teammate Luis Ortiz shared inside information with sports bettors, tipping them off on what pitches they would be throwing. Investigators say the scheme let gamblers win hundreds of thousands of dollars on online betting sites, while the players got bribes in return. Both men are now charged with conspiracy and wire fraud. And millions of Americans who rely on food assistance are caught in the middle of a legal and political tug-of-war. A court battle tied to the government shutdown has put full SNAP benefits in limbo for 42 million people. Over the weekend, the Trump administration told states to roll back payments after a judge ordered full funding. Now, a federal appeals court is weighing whether to keep that pause in place as Congress works on a deal to end the government shutdown. Okay, let's get you updated on the traffic situation right now. We're taking a look at 410 at Starcrest. So a couple of different things here. Not only did we have that one rollover here on one of the main lanes of 410 at Starcrest, looks like we do have another incident that's being reported a little bit further down the road. So Harry Wurzbach, Starcrest, still going to be a bit of an issue for all of our drivers making their way through. I believe this is going to be all of our westbound traffic kind of coming in your direction. Our eastbound traffic, you see that is for the most part moving along, but wanted to zoom in a little bit closer and show you exactly what's happening out here on the near northwest side of town. Again, earlier we had all the main lanes here, 410 shut down due to that rollover crash, but looks like we might have another incident out there at the moment. So we'll continue to track the very latest out here one way or the other. We're still seeing some pretty good backups here for our drivers that are making their way past, again, 410 Harry Wurzbach, making their way through Perrin-Beitel. Also, this is going to be that Nacogdoches area as well if you're headed out to 410 and 35. So this is the biggest delay that we're seeing at the moment. We will continue to monitor the very latest out there on the roads for you on this Monday morning.
All right, I know it's Monday, but this coming weekend, Six Flags is offering free admission to all first responders as a token of appreciation. First responders can bring one guest with them for free as well. Free tickets must be redeemed at guest relations with a valid work ID. And here's a chance to give back and rep your team. Every Thursday in November, you can donate blood with South Texas Blood and Tissue and score a limited edition San Antonio Spurs t-shirt. It's a win-win. Show your Spurs pride while helping save lives in our community. To join in, schedule your donation online at southtexasblood.org or call 210-731-5590.
Right outside with live cam, it is 5:37, 45 degrees. And maybe you're not a fan of the cool weather. I think most of us are, but maybe you're not. That's okay. No judgment here. We've got some warmer weather on the way. In fact, we'll be back in the 80s by midweek. It'll be almost spring-like. We'll talk about the forecast coming up.
Thank you, Justin. Well, a warning for Honda drivers. Your wheels could literally come off while driving. A closer look at the 400,000 Civics being recalled and what owners need to do this morning before hitting the road.
And I'm at the scene of a new accident on the northeast side. I'll give you all the full details coming up on GMSA.
Have you seen the hashtag Foodies Filling Pantries on TikTok or Instagram? It's an effort started by Gabrielle Gonzalez. She's better known as Siempre San Antonio on social media.
We have a platform. That's another thing. We have a platform, and we should be using our platform for the good of our community. So I decided, let me do a little challenge and get my foodie friends involved. I put it out there and I challenged some of my foodie friends, and now people are challenging each other.
Food influencers will tag each other on social media with the hashtag Foodies Filling Pantries. It challenges them to go to the store, fill up a grocery cart, and then take those items to fill up a food pantry.
And thanks to her list, I was able to find a pantry near my home, and I went and I filled up the pantry.
So we decided to drive to a few of these different local food pantries across San Antonio to figure out exactly what's needed so that anyone who wants to participate in this hashtag and fill up these pantries can do just that.
People would take it upon themselves to organize, to bring things, and to fill the pantry, and it's just the best feeling to know that that's how people from San Antonio are.
But the need for food has been overwhelming these last few weeks. SNAP benefits were not arriving on time, and federal employees were not getting paid.
And folks will sometimes put out calls, especially during the holidays, or especially when they hear about like the shutdown, knowing that folks are going to not have their SNAP benefits.
And what we started to notice is empty pantry after empty pantry after empty pantry. That is until we got here to the Harlandale Sunshine Pantry on Drury Lane in the south side, and we finally start to see some canned goods, some boxed goods, anything shelf stable, but it's still not completely full, and that's when this hashtag comes in to rescue those in need.
This is starting with the foodies and our content creator community, but I want everybody to know that they're able to get involved as well.
So after all of our interviews, I went over to a local store, picked up a few canned items that are easy to open, and brought them over to our local pantry. And it only took a few minutes of our time.
So I think it's really cool for folks to use their influence to bring attention and to get people fed.
Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
All right, you heard it. You don't have to be a foodie to give back to the community. Today is the day. KSAT Community, RBFCU, and University Health are teaming up with the San Antonio Food Bank and Meals on Wheels, as say. This is to help families struggling because of the government shutdown and SNAP suspension. Just grab some canned food or pet food and drop it off at the Pinstack location off of 410. You can take donations as early as 7 a.m. And as a thank you, they're going to give you a $5 game card from Pinstack. Plus, the Texas Eats team, including our own David Elder, is going to be there all day to collect donations and say hello. We're going to be checking in with him coming up at 6 a.m.
All right, so that's going to be a good event there to help out some of our local families. 547 right now, quick check of our traffic. We do have a stalled vehicle, 10 at Vance Jackson. This is going to be our westbound traffic over 10 Vance Jackson. On the near northwest side of town, looks like we have a Hero truck out here, so this hopefully should be cleared out within the next few minutes or so as you make your way through the northwest side of town. But our bigger concern is going to be right here, 410 westbound traffic at Starcrest. Again, this is going to be our eastbound traffic. Earlier, we had a lot of different things going on here, a rollover crash, and we had a lot of police presence, also some EMS officials here. This looks like a completely different accident. Again, 410 west of Starcrest. So let's go to Alex right now for the very latest out here on the near northeast side of town and see if we can get an update on what exactly happened there over the past 30 minutes or so. Alex?
Yeah, that's correct, RJ. This call came out about half an hour ago, and you can see the right lanes are still going to be blocked because of this rollover crash on 410 westbound right underneath Starcrest. So just know that the right lanes are blocked right now, and thankfully the driver involved in this crash did not need EMS, RJ.
All right, so a couple different incidents there on the northeast side of town. Be careful, you're headed out to Starcrest and also Harry Wurzbach along 410. Okay, let's check in with Justin, our weather authority meteorologist, to see what it's looking like to start your work week. Justin?
Thank you, sir. We're off to a cold start here across the state of Texas. It is not down to freezing here in San Antonio. In fact, we're sitting in 45, which, all things considered, is actually a little bit warmer than what we were anticipating. So it is cold, but it's not going to be bitterly cold this morning. 30 in San Angelo, 36 Abilene, Amarillo is below freezing, 27 there. Tyler down to freezing. So there are some spots certainly across the state that are down to that freezing mark. It's just not here in San Antonio. I do think we could slip a little bit further. Right now I'm saying 38. We may not even get there, but close to 40 this morning. 47 at 9 a.m., 55 at 11 o'clock, and then eventually up to 62 for a high. That is a picture perfect Monday, and we'll get off to a cold start again tomorrow. These are the high temperatures across the area, by the way, very uniform. I'd say anywhere between 60 and 65 is what you can expect no matter where you are across South Texas today, and that is close to ideal. All right, we do get a warm up though. So 72 tomorrow after a cold start. I think we'll be in the mid to upper 30s tomorrow to start. But then we get that pretty rapid warm up, and by Wednesday and certainly by Thursday and Friday, we are in the 80s. So what a change, right? We go from these really comfortable temperatures back to pretty warm and muggy by the end of the work week and above average. Could that lead to some rain? Well, let's hope so, because we're at 26.28 for the year, and the average is 29.05. So we are running now almost 3 inches below average. Austin has a huge deficit, but even bigger for Del Rio. They're nearly a foot below average when it comes to rainfall. They've only had about 7 inches for the year. So it's been an interesting year in the sense that we've had some flood events, but when you put it all together, we're still needing rain. And if you look at year-to-date rainfall, so what we're looking at here is January 1st through today. If you look back at years previous where we were at this point in the year, really the last year that we were above average at this point was 2021, and that was just 1 year out of many that we were running well below average. In the last 4 years, we have just been struggling to get up to that average line. So this year, unfortunately, is no different. But I do think we have an opportunity for rain as we get into the weekend, and here's why. We're going to see very quiet conditions through the middle part of the week. There's nothing in the upper flow of the atmosphere that shows any sort of change. But as we get into the weekend, here comes an upper level low, and this system looks to be pretty dynamic. So the track of this low is going to be very important, and the timing is going to be very important. But at this point, I think late Saturday into early Sunday, we could see some storms, and then those would clear out quickly on Sunday. So that'll be the next thing that we watch. 72, as we said, Tuesday, 80s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Look for some morning fog Wednesday and Thursday. And then right now, we're going to go with a 30% chance of storms on Saturday. I'd say keep tuned to this forecast, especially if you have plans to go to Works Fest Saturday or whatever you have going on. Let's make sure we pay close attention to what's going on with that system that comes through. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning comes from a viewer, Pete Montoya, and he is asking, in what city were the U.S. Marines founded 250 years ago? Yesterday is the anniversary, the founding of the Marines. Was it Boston, New York, Philadelphia, or Charleston? You can go to ksat.com/polls, scan the QR code, and weigh in.
I already voted.
Okay.
So
Patty's always one of the
I'm
first
on
ones to vote.
I appreciate that. I do.
You didn't Google it, Patty?
I did not.
Okay.
He never does.
Time right now, 5:52. 45 degrees out there. It's cold.
Yes, it definitely is. And coming up, we have a major recall for anyone that drives a Honda. A wheel defect could send your Civic's tires flying off mid-drive. The models that are affected and what Honda says you should do right now. 5:55, welcome back on this Monday morning. Want to tell you about a baby formula recall that is affecting some folks across the country. By Heart brand is voluntarily pulling 2 batches of its whole nutrition infant formula. The company says the recall is being made out of abundance of caution. The move comes after the Food and Drug Administration started investigating a wave of infant botulism cases across the United States. The agency hasn't tied any formulas to the illness at this point.
Honda is recalling more than 400,000 Civic sedans over a wheel defect that could cause the tires to detach from the vehicle, creating a serious crash risk. The recall affects 2016 through 2021 Civic models equipped with 18-inch alloy wheels. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, The flaw can cause the wheel nuts to loosen and the wheel to separate from the car while it is moving. Dealers will inspect and replace wheels and hubs if needed at no cost to owners.
All right, so definitely got to check that out if you're a Honda owner. Okay, 45 degrees outside. We're looking at 556.
All right, residents in Comfort are sounding the alarm over a plan to build a new homes in their town. The biggest concern, the impact on local water quality. We're going to talk with neighbors who are now stepping up their fight before construction moves forward.
Plus this morning, what you need to know about a shooting at a northeast side convenience store and the suspects that are still on the run this morning. And a quick check of Drive Cam, the northeast side of town, over by 410 Harry Wurzbach. Perrin Vital been very busy. We have another rollover accident. We're going to break it all down with photojournalist Alex Gomez.